I called the moment I heard about it. I even got help picking out the perfect plan for me. So did my wife. It was easy, really easy.
Get ready for a Part D plan that gives you low premiums or no annual deductible and coverage you can be happy with.
December 7th is coming. I'm glad we're switching.
Open enrollment ends December 7th, so don't wait. Make the switch to an AARP Medicare RX plan. With United Healthcare, you'll discover a great way you could save money while making sure you're taking care of yourself. So call now for a free enrollment guide, which includes a summary of plan benefits and other helpful information. Or enroll right over the phone. AARP Medicare RX plans insured through United Healthcare. Call today.
Town is paralyzed by a frigid Arctic storm. You've done the smart thing and hunkered down at home when Mother Nature turns off the lights.
126,000 people without power.
Now you're trapped inside. The power's out and the temperature's dropping fast. There's no way to know when the power will come back on. So you have to ask yourself, what should you do to endure a winter power outage? Should you A, store your frozen food outside in a snowbank? B, hunker down in one room to conserve heat? Or C, use an outdoor grill indoors to keep warm and cook food before it spoils?
I can tell you what you don't want to do, and that is eating the soup cold from the can. It's gross. And anyway, keep watching. We'll have that answer for you coming up after the break. For now, let's send it over to Dave.
All right, thanks, Mark. Well, Winter Storm Astro is bad news for farmers, where a significant portion of the corn crop remains in the fields across the upper Midwest. And now with the polar outbreak is setting in, you can understand why there'd be a problem. Well, let's talk more with our business weather expert, Paul Walsh, live with us in New York City. Now, Paul, talk about the winter weather impacts to the corn harvest.
Well, Dave, there's three basic components as it relates to putting this harvest in the ground. There's planting, there's the growing season, both of which so far this year have been fabulous. The growing season weather in particular has been great. I call it a Goldilocks season. The harvest season, of course, is where it all comes out of the ground, and that's where Winter Storm Astro is having an impact, especially in states like North Dakota and Minnesota. In Minnesota, there's still about 10% of the crop is in the ground. In North Dakota, about 16%. So there's still corn to be picked, and the fact that there is snow on the ground is obviously a hindrance to actually getting that corn out of the ground.
So will we be paying more at the store, Paul, because of this?
Well, the good news, Dave, is that because of the fact that growing conditions have been so good for the entire season, we continue to expect a record yield this year. So there's going to be one of the best years we've ever had as it relates to producing corn. So there's going to be plenty of supply. The bad news for producers, for farmers, however, is the price of corn has been dropping because of that. So that has impacted them. In terms of the grocery store, I'm not sure we're going to see much of an impact, at least until next year. And even at that, when we do see that impact, it likely won't be a drop in price, but maybe a slowing of the increase of the price.
I see. Well, thank you so much, Paul. Paul Walsh, our business and weather expert here at the Weather Channel. Mark, back to you.
Dave.
Thanks, guys. And time now for your weather headlines. And it's been a slow motion disaster on Hawaii's Big Island, now claiming its first home. Lava from Mount Kilauea crawled toward the property near Pahoa. The fire started on the porch as the lava approached and then spread. Oof. The good news, if there is good news, is that the people who lived there actually evacuated a while ago because they saw this on the horizon. Officials say more evacuation advisories could be issued if that lava keeps spreading. And on a residential street in Pasco County, Florida, a totally different problem. Look at that. Oh my goodness, a hole formed big enough to swallow that car. The ground gave way near the driveway and kept growing. At least 6 families have been evacuated, and now a resident in the area says a second sinkhole may have been forming. And look closely at this video. The camera jerks upwards as someone tapes an Air Canada flight taxiing down a runway at night in Edmonton. The reason? A wheel exploded on takeoff, and as the plane crash landed, the landing gear collapsed and a propeller reportedly snapped off, tore through the passenger cabin, and smashed into a woman in the head. And she was rushed into the hospital, but her fellow passenger says she's okay. She's survived that. What an amazing shot there. Oof. Still to come on Weather Center Live, your winter weather update. Carl Parker will be back tracking Astro and the polar air invasion.
Even if it's your last one, always share the softness of Kleenex tissues and share your Kleenex Care story at KleenexCare.com.
Fish tacos stuck to the trash can that someone forgot to take out before going on a cruise for a week. Pine Sol, cleaning what stinks since 1929.
Sunday nights. The Channel unravels nature's darkest secrets.
I saw something. I don't know how to explain it.
Every Sunday.
It's a story that's got a life of its own.
A new tale of weather legend.
It may have just looked like a storm, but they were dealing with something far worse.
American Supernatural. Sunday nights at 10 on the Weather Channel.
Currently in our area, 79 degrees under mostly cloudy skies. This afternoon, sunny, high 78. Winds west-northwest at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Tonight, mostly clear, low 62, winds northwest at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Wednesday, sunshine and clouds mixed, high 81, winds north-northwest at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
My name, and Ancestry opened the door to the world's largest online collection of family history records. Discover your story today at Ancestry.com.
Your heart is precious. One of many ways to support its health is new True Heart from One A Day. It's the only heart health supplement with ingredients to both help lower bad cholesterol and support healthy blood pressure, and also includes CoQ10. Try new True Heart.
Earning unlimited cash back on purchases, that's a win. But imagine earning it twice. Introducing the Citi Double Cash Card. It lets you earn cash back twice. Once when you buy, and again as you pay. It's cash back, then cash back again. And that's a cash back win-win. The Citi Double Cash Card. The only card that lets you earn cash back twice on every purchase. With 1% when you buy, and 1% as you pay. With 2 ways to earn, it makes a lot of other cards seem one-sided.
Wouldn't it be nice if we focused less on the number and more on how the fit makes us feel? Start your day bursting with real berries and slip into size sassy with Special K.
Man, these boneless chicken wings are great.
Yeah, I know, and I finally found myself a wingman.
You're going to use the wing as your wingman?
Yeah, for the ladies.
It's going to give you that certain je ne sais quoi.
Je ne sais what?
Be a wingman with new all-white meat, boneless chicken wings in 3 flavors. This is how you Sonic.
Discover all the wonders of Atlantis with Aquaventure Water Park and...
What's that thing?
I moved our old security system out here to see if it could monitor the front yard.
Why don't you switch to Xfinity Home? I get live video monitoring and 24/7 professional monitoring that I can arm and disarm from anywhere.
Hey, the awkward teenaged one has arrived.
Don't be old-fashioned. Switch to Xfinity Home. Connected, protected, home.
Xfinity presents.
On November 15th, two of this generation's great heavyweights face a golden opportunity to become a champion. Submission master Fabricio Verdum.
Verdum going for an armbar. He's got it.
Battles knockout artist Mark Hunt.
Every punch he throws is to knock you senseless.
For the interim UFC heavyweight title.
Order now with your remote on Xfinity from Comcast.
With 5 tests for $149. Call the number below today.
See the weather like never before.
Look at this.
Listen to that.
Amazing starts here. The Weather Channel mornings.
Well, before the break, we asked you if you know what to do when an echo occurs in your earpiece. No, that's not the question.
No, probably not.
What was it?
It was what would you do if you lost power in a winter storm? And here's the answer.
Yeah.
What happens in an ice storm is it's actually warm higher up in the atmosphere. Snow falls and it melts. It turns into rain. That rain will come down, and as long as your surface temperature is above freezing, you're okay. But once it drops below freezing, that rain actually freezes on contact on branches and power lines.
There it is. The entire state, well, at least in our area, is pretty much coated in ice.
What would you do to survive this Arctic ordeal? The best thing to do in a winter power outage is B, stay in one room and ride it out.
If you've lost power and you have no heat or a limited heat source, it's so important that you immediately make the decision to zone off your house and literally live out of one room. The best way to do that is hang blankets in the doorways, close all the doors, and literally confine all of your living activity to one room.
Have some extra blankets nearby as part of your survival kit. Sleeping bags are a great insulator. During a power outage, everything for your health applies. You should have plenty of water during the day. Take care of your health, take care of yourself, and if it gets too severe or too inconvenient, then go to a shelter.
How about that? Did you get that right?
I did.
I didn't follow along, so I don't even know.
That makes it a lot harder.
Yeah.
It makes it a lot harder to get the right answer.
Now, courtesy of Winter Storm Astro, snow continues to swirl.
And storm specialist Carl Parker pinpoints the places seeing the heaviest snow right now, as well as the cold air. Carl.
All right, so let's take a look at the visible satellite picture here, guys, and just an amazing shot of cold air overtaking the U.S. That front now lining up from the lakes on down into the lower Mississippi Valley. You can very clearly see it there, and that cold air sweeping down through the middle of the country behind that. And look at this, as we zoom in to Nebraska, there is snow on the ground, very clearly visible. It's the part that's not moving. You see the clouds moving along there, and we've got a good bit of it, and man, have we seen a lot of snow there in the UP of Michigan. It's winding down now, but not quite over. Look at some of these totals. Crystal Falls 15.5, but then closer to Marquette, this is amazing, Ishpeming between 23 and 26 inches, so an average of 24.5 there. Amazing. And then not far from that, Negaunee coming in at 21.5 inches of snow. So those, I believe, are the winners with this particular event, and it's not quite over. We're looking for an additional 5 to 8 in the northern part of the UP and also in northern Wisconsin. So all this occurring with this big upper low in place here, big dip in the jet stream in an unusual ridge way up there, very high in latitude in Alaska and Western Canada. This, by the way, is something that we've seen a lot more of in recent years, and there are a lot of people, including climate scientists, who are doing a lot of research on that particular topic. So talking about temperatures going forward, in Denver tomorrow, minus 45 relative to average. Unbelievable. Minus 23 in Oklahoma City at 38 degrees. Cold air then spreading into the mid-south on Thursday. 42 in Nashville, 32 in Chicago, and then the cold air continues to drop down into the southeast on Friday and move into the east as well. It's going to take a little bit of the bite out of it as it spreads out, becomes modified into the weekend. But we do expect it's still going to be pretty chilly for most of the country, and that will set the stage potentially for more winter weather. When you've got cold air in place, you always have to be concerned about that. And we think an area of low pressure is likely to get going in the Gulf of Mexico, then move up towards the northeast Gulf on Sunday. Then it's going to come up and along the coast, and the question at that time will be just how much cold air will be available for this low. It is possible that we'll be talking about snow there in the northeast starting late Sunday and going into Monday, especially interior parts of the northeast. Now, when we look at the European model, it shows a similar scenario, but not quite as cold, and so the European model saying that the storm is more likely to be wet as opposed to white Sunday and Monday, but still there could be some snow in this case, and that's going to be the next thing to watch. Mark, Dave, back to you.
Thanks, Carl. Yeah, when you get this kind of trophy pattern in the east and cold air, you got to watch each storm that might fire up. And of course, we're just getting started watching those storms on Weather Center Live. Astro on the move.
And so is the polar air invasion. We'll expound on that in just a moment.
Currently in our area, 79 degrees under mostly cloudy skies. This afternoon, sunny, high 78. Winds west-northwest at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Tonight, mostly clear, low 62. Winds northwest at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Wednesday, sunshine and clouds mixed, high 81. Winds north-northwest at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Look out. Winter Storm Astro putting millions of drivers to the test. The snow more than a foot deep in some places, and it's still falling, Mark.
Oh, man, look at that spin move, too. The Arctic invasion, a shock to the system. People in Denver experienced a dramatic drop in temperatures yesterday, and that cold air is still spreading south and east. From the Weather Channel headquarters in the south and east in Atlanta, you are watching Weather Center Live. Hi, and thanks for watching. I'm Mark Elliott.
Schwartzy here. Good to see you. Yes,
yeah.
Indeed. Now, forecasters here at the Weather Channel are calling this Arctic outbreak relentless because the core of the cold air has settled in over the western plains. But that's just one core.
Right.
There's another one up there in northwestern Canada. That's coming down. Now, right now, the current core stretches from the Great Lakes all the way to the Texas Gulf Coast, and it's on the move.
And so is Winter Storm Astro. I mean, take a look at Cheyenne, Wyoming. The snow started there yesterday, and there is no chance of melting, at least on those grassy surfaces anytime soon, as the overnight lows will be below zero. Of course, on the asphalt and the roads, they're treating it, so some melting there.
And take a look at the snow this morning in Albany, Minnesota, that is. The road's an absolute mess. Plow drivers were out. They're picking up some much-needed income, huh?
Yeah.
But they had their work cut out for them.
Yeah, the snow is slowing down in Minnesota today, but the cold is just settling in.
Meteorologist Mike Seidel is in Forest Lake, Minnesota, just north of the Twin Cities. Mike?
This was a big storm, especially north of Minneapolis-St. Paul. North and west up Interstate 94, St. Cloud had 13.2 inches. That is the snowiest day on record, calendar day, in November, and their 5th snowiest across any day in the year. You get over here to Forest Lake, we've had 10 inches. North of here as much as 16 inches. Again, re-emphasizing the fact that we had a really tight gradient of snow across the Twin Cities metro. North side, 6, 8, 10 inches. South side, from Eden Prairie to Bloomington, Chanhassen, where the National Weather Service is, they had around 3 inches of snow. And as you can imagine, all the snowplow operators had to react.
Well, it certainly woke all of us up in the snow removal industry, and we were nervous. You know, a smaller snow event, 2 to 3 inches, is certainly different than 9 or 10 or 12. So we were pretty nervous and certainly scrambling to get our equipment and people ready.
As you can imagine, the plow operators love this kind of weather. It's money in the bank. Roads are in pretty good shape right now. We've had a lot of salt, we've had some sun, and the snow has basically wrapped up for this event. Airport looking much better today. Yesterday we had about 150 cancellations. Today running at about 20. Much better trying to get in and out and through MSP International. Forecast, the cold weather is here to stay. It's going to get even colder into the weekend and next week. Highs may not get to 20 some afternoons. Morning lows well down into the single numbers. We'll probably have some sub-zero cold with clear nights, light winds, and all the snowpack. We'll keep you updated as the cold air heads south this afternoon and tonight.
So, Mike, that's good news. The storm, Astro, has left Minnesota, but it's still with us. So let's get some expert analysis. Storm specialist Carl Parker is live in the lab. Carl?
Dave, we've seen some incredible amounts of snowfall there in the UP of Michigan. 2 feet of snow coming down not very far away from Marquette. We'll take a look at those totals here in just a moment. I want to show you, first of all, the infrared picture. And this is across northern parts of the U.S. and Canada. So with this type of satellite image, what we're looking for are the grays and the whites and then the blue colors. And that is usually showing you the tops of the clouds. As you know, it gets much colder as you go up into the mid and upper levels of the atmosphere, and those very cold cloud tops are colored in white and gray and then blue and sometimes green. But you'll notice here that a very large area of Canada also has that gray and white appearance, and where it's not moving there, that's not cloud, it's just that cold ground that's being picked up by this particular channel of the infrared satellite. Very, very chilly air driving this winter weather, and there is the last of Astro. The snow's still going on there across the UP and right around Marquette. Got a couple of reports of 21 to 26 inches of snow. It really has been coming down near Marquette. It's going to be winding down in short order. And then notice here that we've had some rain coming through northern lower Michigan. There has been a bit of moderate and heavy rain, but what we're also seeing there in those really bright returns is what's called bright banding. That is melting snow, and that's why it looks like there are just tremendous thunderstorms there. That's not the case, just some pockets of heavy rain, but also a lot of melting snow. So here we go with the forecast, and we're looking for an area of 5 to 8 additionally. So there could be, conceivably, there could be some areas that get maybe 30 inches by the time it's all said and done, 8 to 12 in pockets as well, and generally less than an inch as you get down into northern lower Michigan. So here's the model forecast. There's the low lifting up into Ontario. Notice these little bands that develop coming off of Lake Superior. Lake effect snow kicking in the backside, on the backside of that low, and then dropping down into Michigan. And we're going to see a lot more of that in the next couple of days. In fact, water temperatures in the lakes are generally now in the 40s and in the 50s. Now consider that the air temperatures, the air that's going to come across the lakes, is going to be on the order of 30, maybe 20 degrees next couple of days. And for that reason, we're talking about really, really high differentials in temperature that creates instability, and it also adds moisture, and that's what gets these lake effect bands going. So here's the model forecast. We're going to watch one band really start to kick in there, coming off of Lake Erie into the south towns, into Chautauqua, Cattaraugus counties, western New York. Another area coming off of Lake Michigan towards Benton Harbor, and getting over into Detroit. As a matter of fact, another long streamer from Lake Superior down into southern parts of Ontario, including Toronto, and then yet more snow even into late Thursday, dropping into southwestern lower Michigan. So the lake effect really going next couple of days, we think, along with that cold air overspreading the region. Dave, Mark, back to you.
Wow, that is really impressive. We were just talking about it.
Yeah.
Well, coming up on Weather Center Live, an in-depth look at snowflakes.
Yeah, is it really true that no two are the same? That answer coming down to science. Up next, to Brainstorm you will only see on the Weather Channel.
And here's a look at some of that cold air through the weekend. Yes, you folks in Boston, New York, Philadelphia, D.C., you're going to be in on it. You know, it's 68 right now in Philadelphia.
Yeah, and you think it's cold now across the northern tier. By this weekend, another shot, another reinforcing teaser of more cold air coming into play.
From Seattle to Secaucus, everybody.
Yep.
Making jackets that are built to perform anywhere is hard work. And at LL Bean, we take our job very seriously. Guaranteed quality, no matter what you're up against. From LL Bean.
You know how you look in the mirror and kind of go like this? It looks great, but you can't walk around like this all day.
Where's the kitty? Kitty, kitty!
So, CoverGirl and Olay invented Facelift Effect Firming Makeup. It has an advanced Olay firming complex that penetrates to plump skin with moisture, making skin look firm and smooth. Get the firming power of a night cream, plus luxurious coverage, and get your hands free for the important stuff. Facelift Effect Makeup from Olay and Easy, breezy, beautiful CoverGirl. And try new Depuffer Eye Concealer.
Tonight, a Weather Channel special investigation. There's something happening in South Texas.
It was like hell out there.
That can't fully be explained by the weather.
These are mass graves.
The Real Death Valley. Special time, 9 p.m. tonight on the Weather Channel.
Currently in our area, 79 degrees under mostly cloudy skies. Tonight, mainly clear skies. Low 62. Winds west-northwest at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Wednesday, intervals of clouds and sunshine. High 81. Winds north-northwest at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Wednesday night, partly cloudy. Low 65. Winds north at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
If you missed this Sunday night on the Weather Channel, you'll never know how twisted weather can be. Wicked Weather Sundays, every Sunday night at 9 on the Weather Channel.
The Dueler tires on Terrence Knighton's truck are engineered to be Bridgestone's best SUV tires, and now they have an 80,000-mile tread wear warranty.
Guess we're gonna be here a while.
First time on a treadmill?
What are you saying?
I'm just saying.
With an 80,000-mile tread wear warranty, the Dueler tires are Bridgestone's best SUV tires. Go to BridgestoneTire.com to find a Bridgestone dealer near you.
Come to Boston Market for a full menu of meals featuring our signature rotisserie chicken, starting at just $6.99. And this holiday season, spend more time with family and friends. Let the holiday experts do the cooking. Only at Boston Market.
Black Friday savings start right now. So let's open the door to low prices. Yeah, wide open. Let's hurry and save on appliances here and here, from top to bottom. Shop the biggest names and the season's best savings. Let's open up new possibilities with Black Friday prices. That's how to holiday. Let's do this. More saving, more doing. That's the power of the Home Depot. Save over $800 on the Samsung French door refrigerator.
Welcome back to Weather Center Live, where we are still following this polar air invasion, right? We're not just talking about the high plains anymore. We got to look towards the south and towards the east, even the northeast corridor. And talk about polar air, right? Yeah, it's almost 70 in Philadelphia. A lot of you are in the city of brotherly love going, what cold air? What are you talking about? Well, don't worry. It's on the way. This is the cold front that is going to be changing your weather picture as well. And yes, this cold air will modify as it moves towards the east, but this is still a change that you are going to absolutely notice as it crashes the party. Into late week here, our high temperatures will be anywhere from 10 to 20 degrees below average. It is early for this type of cold, and it's early for this type of prolonged cold that we're going to be seeing. The D.C. area tomorrow 62, which is still at or near average average, but that'll be a morning high temperature. Those things will be falling through the day. D.C. by Thursday will be near 50. Pittsburgh by Friday in the mid-30s. And New York City and Boston low to mid-40s by the time we get to the end of the week. Just brutal, right? New York City, the average high is in the mid-50s. You'll be closer to the low to mid-40s, even mid-30s as we go through this long stretch of chilly temperatures. Plus, Dave, we have to look at the southeast quickly because the cold air is knocking on your doorstep as well. Over the next couple of days, we'll be watching the 30s and 40s pushing well into the southern plains and the southeast. Over to you.
And if you live on the East Coast and you've had trouble with your heater, why don't you test it out now before the cold air gets in? Now, Winter Storm Astro has already produced billions, that's right, and that's an underestimate, billions of snowflakes. So is the saying really true that no two snowflakes are alike? Sounds like the perfect question for the Weather Channel, doesn't it? Sam Champion does the math in this edition of Brainstorm.
A snowflake begins to form when a water droplet freezes around an atmospheric dust particle. This becomes what's called a condensation nucleus and can be just 4 millionths of an inch in diameter. That's 1,000 times smaller than the thickness of a single sheet of paper. In sub-freezing temperatures, the water molecules crystallize around this speck of dust. When this crystal becomes heavier than the surrounding air, it begins to fall. During its approximate 15 to 45 minute trip to the ground, this new snowflake travels through changes in humidity, temperature, and wind. As the flake adds water molecules, each of these atmospheric factors contribute differently to form a unique 6-arm symmetrical pattern. For example, flakes that fall through cold and dry conditions typically have simpler, compact shapes, while those falling through warmer, more humid conditions often have very complex dendrites, or arms. Now, when taking into account the countless subtle variations of weather each crystal can experience, the odds of two snowflakes being exactly the same shape are astronomical. Under a microscope, an average-sized snowflake can easily have more than 100 distinguishable features. And even though every year it's been estimated that 1 septillion snow crystals fall to the ground, that's a 1 with 24 zeros, we'll still likely never see two that are identical.
Well, the Arctic invasion was a shock to the system for people in Denver yesterday. And today, we're seeing those big changes in Texas.
Yeah, in Houston, the warm air's gone. The front is moving through another major metro area, and we are watching the temperatures fall. We'll show you where that is right after this, right?
We will.
Experience all the real possibilities of connecting with family and friends. RealPad from AARP is now your easy way to share, enjoy, play, and celebrate. It's the tablet with free unlimited live help whenever you need it.
Hi, Mom. Hi, Dad. Happy anniversary.
Cherish moments like these with RealPad. Available at aarprealpad.org and at Walmart.
See this? It shows the pressure points of my tired, achy feet.
I had no clue I was putting this kind of stress on my feet.
I have flat feet. I found this out at the free Dr. Scholl's Foot Mapping Center at Walmart. In less than 2 minutes, I got my foot map and my custom number. I'm a 440.
I'm a 210.
340.
That number matched the Dr. Scholl's custom fit orthotic inserts with just the right support to help relieve stress on my feet. I'm a believer.
Go to drscholls.com for locations and save $10.
Again.
When we're having this much fun, why quit? And Bounty has no quit in it either. It's 2 times more absorbent than the leading Ordinary brand, and then stays strong so you can use less. Watch how 1 sheet of Bounty keeps working, while their 2 sheets just quit. Bounty, the no-quit picker-upper.
What's the best way to tackle football season? New Bounty NFL Prints, available at Walmart.
credit card where the reward was that new car smell and the freedom of the open road. A card that gave you that I'm 16 and just got my first car feeling. Presenting the Buy Power card from Capital One. Redeem earnings toward part or even all of a new Chevrolet, Buick, GMC, or Cadillac with no limits. So every time you use it, you're not just shopping for goods. You're shopping for something great. Learn more at buypowercard.com.
Tonight, a Weather Channel special investigation. There's something happening in South Texas.
It was like hell out there.
That can't.
Esurance was born online, which means fewer costs, which saves money. Their customer experience is virtually paperless, which saves paper, which saves money. They have smart online tools, so you only pay for what's right for you, which saves money. They settle claims quickly, which saves time, which saves money. They drive an all-hybrid claims fleet, which saves gas, which saves money. They were born online and built to save money, which means when they save, you save, because that's how it should work in the modern world. Esurance, backed by Allstate. Click or call.
All holiday cards are 50% off when you enter promo code HOLIDAY at Vistaprint.com.
I just wanted you to know.
The wildest weather ever caught on camera.
Oh my God!
Tonight, tomorrow night, every weeknight. Wild weather at 8 on the Weather Channel.
Currently in our area, 78 degrees under partly cloudy skies. Tonight, mainly clear skies. Low 62. Winds west-northwest at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Wednesday, intervals of clouds and sunshine. High 81. Winds north-northwest at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Wednesday night, partly cloudy. Low 65. Winds north at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Here's Washington, D.C. live. That's the Capitol. And that's that big restoration program they got going on, accounting for all the scaffolding, right?
Yeah, but it was still a beautiful shot with those trees in the foreground.
And a beautiful day. It's about 71 in Washington. The shirt sleeve weather. Could we get in on the Arctic air? Say it ain't so.
I'm saying it is so.
Oh, all right. Well, so much for that. Hey, it's Veterans Day, so we're checking on the weather and giving you the forecast for 3 different military installations across the country. This is Scott Air Force Base, actually across the river from St. Louis in Belleville, Illinois. It is cold out there. Skies will clear, will drop below freezing after midnight. And here's our next stop, MacDill Air Force Base in Tampa. This is the one warm spot. It's in the mid-70s now. Under clear skies, look at that. What a gorgeous night. Veterans Day 2014. And our last stop is Camp Lejeune, North Carolina. We've had some light rain and clouds. Clouds are going to give way later on. We'll be mild, just like Tampa will be. But unlike Tampa, we'll get in on the cold air by payday.
Absolutely. And of course, across the nation, all kinds of celebrations going on, parades, events. We're thanking veterans for their service today and really every day.
And that happens to include a concert for Valor tonight on the National Mall in Washington, D.C. So if you're in the area, you might want to check that out, especially with this mild weather we have. But some communities have canceled a few Veterans Day events due to this blast of snow and cold.
Yeah, and you know what? This cold air is really going to be noticed. We can follow this cold air, this polar air invasion across the country, and we have to know what's happened already. Yesterday, we were just so amazed by some of the stats from this cold air that dove all the way into the south.
And you know, this cold air quite often has trouble getting across the Rockies.
It does.
It has gotten way across the Rockies.
Yeah.
I mean, we have Arctic air now in Seattle.
Yeah, and it's going to set the stage for a potential freezing rain event through the Columbia River Gorge area.
Down toward Portland,
and
right?
Carl Parker will be back to talk about that. But how about this? Out ahead of the front yesterday, Delaware, Texas, 84.
Unbelievable. They're in the 30s right now.
Yeah, you wouldn't know it if you stepped outside today that you were in the 80s yesterday. And it didn't take the whole day to drop these temperatures. How about an hour?
1 hour. 31-degree drop out here in southeast Colorado. Amazing.
Brutal.
Yeah.
Brutal. And we were talking about the Denver area, the Colorado Springs area a lot yesterday. At noon, 70. At midnight, mid-teens.
And it's snowing there right now.
Yep. Just wild. And this cold air is going to stick around for a while. We want to zoom in across the country. You can clearly pick out the cold front over by Dave.
These are the actual winds that are blowing right now from the northwest in Chicago. Cold front is through Indianapolis, through St. Louis. But here's your mild air, accounting for that nice 71 degrees in Washington, D.C., 68 in Pittsburgh, not too far from a record.
Yeah, and so here's some of those readings. It's still 79 in New Orleans, Dallas, 44. Houston, mid-60s at this point.
At this point, they're in the 50s.
50s.
They're in the 50s
falling even
right now.
further.
Yeah.
It has just been absolutely wild. Let's look at Nashville, for example, because that front is coming through. Say goodbye to the southerly winds. Say hello to the northwest flow this evening. Timing it out for you right about 7 o'clock.
About
frontal
6
passage.
or 7 o'clock front, and then boom, we're down in the 30s during the wee hours, depending on what time. Well, okay, next.
Just unbelievable. We'll move on, and this cold air doesn't leave. Once it gets here, 40s all the way through this forecast.
There's your average high for Nashville, 62. Anything close? Nothing for 10 days.
Yeah, and that's not the only area that we're timing out the front for you. How about in Michigan? We've got Detroit over on that side. Lansing, southerly winds for now. And then the west and eventually northwest flow comes through. So front for Detroit will be right about at 10 p.m. or so for that real cold air push anyway behind the front.
The front is just west of Ann Arbor right now.
And so by morning when you're waking up, freezing line, give or take, any side of that, it's cold.
But that's a little closer to an average low for us in Detroit.
Yeah,
and there's the cold air hanging out.
Staying cold. Yeah. One quick look at Texas. Right now in the Panhandle, 34. In Brownsville, 82.
Almost 50 degrees.
Unbelievable.
Well, you're either struggling with the bitter cold or waiting for it to arrive.
Yeah, just a nation split in two. Plus, you may be spinning your wheels on some fresh snow. How much more snow are we expecting from Winter Storm Astro, and when will it finally clear out? We're bringing you those answers coming up.
There's one spot that's going to get a whole bunch more snow.
Is there?
Over the next couple of days, even in the wake of Astro. And waiting on the cold, Chicago, just one place where those temperatures are tumbling.
Yeah, that northwest wind cranking.
And be sure to catch our special, The Real Death Valley, tonight at 9 Eastern, only on the Weather Channel.
There is no car in this accident. Because there was no accident. Volvo's most advanced accident avoidance systems ever. The future of safety from the company that has always brought you the future of safety. Give the gift of Volvo this season, and we'll give you your first month's payment on us.
Gorilla Tape, of course.
Gorilla Tape's double-thick adhesive grips rough and uneven surfaces for a strong, weather-resistant hold for the toughest jobs on planet Earth.
December 7th. Go ahead, mark your calendars. It's the last day you can switch your Medicare Part D plan. We're ready, and we can't wait to switch. What I wanted was simple, the most value for my dollar. So now that it's time, we're making the move to a plan that really works for us.
Make the switch to an AARP Medicare RX plan insured through United Healthcare. Open enrollment ends December 7th, so don't wait. Call now for a free enrollment guide, which includes a summary of plan benefits and other helpful information, or enroll right over the phone. Discover why AARP Medicare RX Part D plans are so popular with over 5 million plan members and counting. Choose a plan with low premiums or one with no annual deductible and start saving with your first prescription fill.
Plus, we'll be covered at like 60,000 pharmacies. So if we visit our kids in Portland or go anywhere in the country, we know we're covered.
Enjoy copays for as low as $1 with the Preferred Retail Pharmacy Network, which includes thousands of pharmacies and retail locations like these. United Healthcare has worked to get low costs for plan members.
I called the moment I heard about it. I even got help picking out the perfect plan for me. So did my wife. It was easy, really easy.
Get ready for a Part D plan that gives you low premiums or no annual deductible and coverage you can be happy with.
December 7th is coming. I'm glad we're switching.
Open enrollment ends December 7th, so don't wait. Make the switch to an AARP Medicare RX plan. With United Healthcare, you'll discover a great way you could save money while making sure you're taking care of yourself. So call now for a free enrollment guide, which includes a summary of plan benefits and other helpful information. Or enroll right over the phone. AARP Medicare RX plans insured through United Healthcare. Call today.
Put on your thinking caps. Evaporation rate equals 700 times the mean temperature divided by 100 minus the latitude plus 15 times temperature minus dew point temperature divided by 80 minus temperature times millimeters per day. So easy, Sam. A caveman could do it. Got it? Great.
That is amazing.
Currently in our area, 78 degrees under partly cloudy skies. Tonight, mainly clear skies. Low 62. Winds west-northwest at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Wednesday, intervals of clouds and sunshine. High 81. Winds north-northwest at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Wednesday night, partly cloudy. Low 65. Winds north at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Weather ever caught on camera. Oh my God! Tonight, tomorrow night, every weeknight, wild weather at 8 on the Weather Channel.
This is not only cold weather, 20 degrees colder than average for November, but it's going to last for at least 2 more weeks.
This is a mess.
We're all going to shovel each other out.
We had a pretty bad hit last year. But you know what? This year, we just move forward and don't think about it. We can get through it.
Now, that's the attitude, huh? We can get through this thing.
Yeah, just layer up, right?
You know, millions of people have been feeling what a start to the season.
Right.
What a cruel month.
It's been unfair.
Yeah, right. Well, that's life, isn't it?
Yeah.
Hey, thanks for watching Weather Center Live. I'm Dave Schwartz.
And I'm Mark Elliott. And the week started off with the snow from Winter Storm Astro. Now everybody talking about the Arctic air moving across the country, and it is here to stay. Meteorologist Chris Warren is with us now with a look at the dramatic start to November.
I do have to say that, 2 days ago I'm golfing, and now we have this.
David Drodson spent his whole life in Minnesota. He says it's not necessarily the snow that's most bothersome.
My wife likes the snow. It gets rid of the allergies, so she's happy about that. But we can live without the cold.
But Drodson and 3/4 of the country, more than 200 million people, are going to be dealing with January-like temperatures.
I like summer. I don't like the cold. I don't like having to scrape my car and wear all the clothes.
All this week, an Arctic invasion that stretches from the Rockies to the Appalachians. Temperatures will be 15 to 40 degrees below average, and with the wind chill, in some places, it will feel below zero. It's a rare November event. There's only 2 other Novembers we know of that had big bouts of Arctic air, 1976 and 1880. And this time, it's going to be widespread and relentless. At least another week, if not longer. The snow, however, will stop falling by Tuesday, and for some, it isn't all that bad compared to last year.
The blizzard last year in October was incredible. We had lightning and thunder and snow going horizontal, and I think we had at least 2 feet if I remember right.
This time around, people from the Rockies to the northern Great Lakes could see as much as 15 to 20 inches. I'm meteorologist Chris Warren, the Weather Channel.
Thanks, Chris. And of course, Astro's still dropping some snow right now, but the Pacific Northwest is struggling with a new system that's knocked out power now to at least 20,000 customers in western Washington. Storm specialist Carl Parker in the lab. Carl, this is just the perfect setup for intense wind and possibly a freezing rain event as well.
Yeah, that's right. Very strong wind is set up there, not only in Washington, but in western Oregon, coming through the Columbia River Gorge, and we'll explain how that works in just a moment. Let's first wrap up what's going on with our storm in the lakes, and the energy associated with this storm now lifting up into southern parts of Canada. There's an upper low that's sitting right in there. So we're getting some lingering snow now in the northern part of Michigan, around the UP of Michigan. We have had totals on the order of 2 feet there around Marquette, and there could be an additional several inches in this area, and that's going through tonight. Then it's really going to be winding down. Just some lake effect snow really going forward into tomorrow, and the lake effect, in fact, will spread across all of the lakes. Now let's take you out into the west and talk about what's happening in western Oregon and the Columbia River Gorge winds. So you've got the area of high pressure centered over western Canada that's driving cold air down and towards the Cascades. Now the Cascades are generally between 1 and 2 miles high, so there's a natural barrier there, and when that cold air tries to make progress to the west, it is blocked for the most part by the Cascades. And if you were to think about a viscous liquid like, for example, syrup, if it were to be bumped up against the Cascades, then it would not be able to go any farther unless you had a little area where the elevation was lower, and that's exactly what's occurring right there. That is the Columbia River Gorge, and it allows that cooler air to spill out and across the Columbia River. And because there's a big difference in pressure between that colder air and the surrounding air west of the Cascades, there is a tremendous amount of wind when it comes funneling down through that river gorge. So we're talking about winds that are gusting up now to nearly 50 miles per hour in Portland, 46, and that's at a water plant, actually, the Headworks water plant there, 30 miles per hour sustained, and now 13 sustained in Vernonia. So there's a look at the advisories that are now in effect in the Portland metro. These are high wind warnings for the western end of the gorge. We're talking about winds that could gust as high as 80 miles per hour, and in Portland maybe as high as 65 miles per hour. That's enough to cause damage, and certainly is going to be an issue for high-profile vehicles. And it's not only that cold air comes out in a very shallow layer, spills out into western Oregon, and at the same time, you can get a flow of warmer air moving in aloft over top of that cold air, and the result in that case can be rain that falls out of the warmer air, but then down to the surface where you've got the very cold air, the below freezing air. And so the concern tomorrow night is going to be perhaps some freezing rain there in western parts of Oregon. Dave, over to you.
Thank you, Carl. Boy, are those winds whipping. Meanwhile, in St. Louis, it is cold. You know, the high temperature for the day officially will be recorded as 63, but that occurred at midnight. It's in the upper 30s right now. Chicago, upper 30s, and with the wind at 15 to 25 miles an hour, and you can see it there in St. Louis, it feels as if it's in the 20s, the upper 20s. And as has been advertised, this is a relentless Arctic cold into the weekend and beyond. How about into next weekend? Now, tomorrow morning, the core of this batch of cold air will be centered over the northern Rockies and high plains. Look at the low temperatures we are expecting tomorrow morning. Pretty impressive. Butte, Montana, still below zero right now. Here's some of the snow that fell across Kansas and Nebraska. Sun is getting lower in the sky, but you can see the white stuff that's not moving. Those are clouds right in here. And then eventually we'll be able to get a chance to see the snow in Iowa and Minnesota as this storm pulls away. Tomorrow, those will be visible satellite image. But there's your temperatures. There are your temperatures where there's snow on the ground in particular. the temperatures are extremely low, because snow is white and it reflects a lot of sunlight back out into space. So we can't get heat generated down here. That's why temperatures are going to be falling to way below zero the next 3 mornings. Here's one little brief respite, if you can call it that, before the next shot of cold air comes southward from Western Canada. So this is relentless. It is relentless. Now, in New York and Philly and Richmond, for example, we're not going to have this kind of cold. But by Friday, you're going to feel the change. So get ready for that, okay? It's going to get colder than average, about 10 degrees colder. Here are the kind of high temperatures we're expecting the rest of the week. Over the snow-covered areas, colder than where the sun can heat the ground, and heat can be generated down here where you and I live. Friday, we creep above the freezing mark, but look what's coming down the pike in Billings. There we have it, my friend. More on this cold Arctic outbreak and Astro next.
Hey, have you guys heard about probiotics for digestive health? Yes, and did you know that TrueBiotics is a daily probiotic that helps in 2 ways? It supports digestive and immune health by working in your gut, where 70% of your immune system lives. Try TrueBiotics today.
From restoring damage in just one room to an entire building, turn to the cleanup team that's here in your community and here to help at 1-800-SERVE-PRO, like it never even happened.
Currently in our area, 78 degrees under partly cloudy skies. Tonight, mainly clear skies. Low 62. Winds west-northwest at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Wednesday, intervals of clouds and sunshine. High 81. Winds north-northwest at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Wednesday night, partly cloudy. Low 65. Winds north at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
The Dueler tires on Terrence Knighton's truck are engineered to be Bridgestone's best SUV tires, and now they have an 80,000-mile tread-wear warranty.
Guess we're gonna be here a while.
First time on a treadmill?
What are you saying?
I'm just saying. With an 80,000-mile tread-wear warranty, the Dueler tires are Bridgestone's best SUV tires. Go to BridgestoneTire.com to find a Bridgestone dealer near you.
Let's get a head start on the holidays. Let's open something before Christmas. Not that. Those. And of course, a whole lot of these. Let's make merry, along with a few other things. Deck out that. Save all these and spread more of this. That's how to holiday. Let's do this. More saving, more doing. That's the power of the Home Depot. Trade in your old lights and get up to $5 off the latest LEDs.
Check.
Aha.
Energizer protects your devices from damaging leaks. Guaranteed.
Fatherhood. Lesson number 1.
Deep sea delight.
Pregnant wives have late-night cravings.
The ice cream, please.
Lesson number 2. Make sure you get her ice cream in a cup with a lid.
That's why you want accident forgiveness from Allstate. It keeps your rates from going up just because of an accident. Plus, when you switch today, you could save up to 10% more on your auto policy.
Just a few more ways. The good hands are doing more than ever before.
Call 866-532-0707 now.
Come to Boston Market for a full menu of meals featuring our signature rotisserie chicken, starting at just $6.99. And this holiday season, spend more time with family and friends. Let the holiday experts do the cooking. Only at Boston Market.
Sir, we're loaded and getting ready to go. We're going to need you on the runway.
Don't let a severe cold hold you back.
Sir?
Theraflu starts to get to work in your body in just 5 minutes.
Theraflu breaks you free from your worst cold and flu symptoms. Theraflu, serious power.
Did you know? Fresh Step Extreme Lightweight Litter isn't just light. It's also the best lightweight for eliminating odors. Amazing, right? For guaranteed odor elimination, try Fresh Step Extreme Lightweight.
We're almost there. If your bladder is calling the shots, you may have a medical condition called overactive bladder, or OAB.
Again? But we just went.
Ask your doctor about Myrbetriq, Mirabegron, to treat the OAB symptoms of urgency, frequency, and leakage.
Seriously? It's time to go to the doctor.
Myrbetriq is the first and only medicine in its class for OAB.
Myrbetriq may increase your blood pressure. Myrbetriq may increase your chances of not being able to empty your bladder. Tell your doctor right away if you have trouble emptying your bladder or have a weak urine stream. Myrbetriq may affect or be affected by other medications. So tell your doctor about all the medicines you take. Before taking Myrbetriq, tell your doctor if you have liver or kidney problems. Common side effects include increased blood pressure, common cold symptoms, urinary tract infection, and headache.
If your overactive bladder is calling the shots, ask your doctor about Myrbetriq. Visit mybladder.com to see if you're eligible for a year's worth of savings on Myrbetriq.
Your town is paralyzed by a frigid Arctic storm. You've done the smart thing and hunkered down at home when Mother Nature turns off the lights.
126,000 people without power.
Now you're trapped inside. The power's out and the temperature's dropping fast. There's no way to know when the power will come back on. So you have to ask yourself, what should you do to endure a winter power outage? Should you A, store your frozen food outside in a snowbank? B, hunker down in one room to conserve heat? Or C, use an outdoor grill indoors to keep warm and cook food before it spoils?
So do you know the right answer? Well, keep watching. We will reveal the best answer for you coming up in just a couple minutes. But for now, let's send it over to Dave.
And thanks a lot, Mark. Well, the snow has finally moved out of much of Minnesota, at least the accumulating snow. Earlier today, though, 2 people lost their lives on snowy roads in Minnesota. Joining us on the phone right now is Lieutenant Eric Roski. He's with the Minnesota State Patrol. Lieutenant Roski, we appreciate your time here this afternoon.
Thank you for having me on.
Our pleasure. Well, how many collisions have you seen today in Minnesota?
Well, we have seen a significant decrease from yesterday. Yesterday we handled hundreds of crashes. The rush hour this morning statewide, we had fewer than 100 and fewer than 100 vehicles off the road as well. So conditions are much improved. Like you mentioned, the snow has stopped for the most part. The main traveled roads are now clear and travel's improved greatly.
That's good to hear. Now, we understand that 2 patrol cars may have been among those in collisions due to this snow event. What exactly happened?
Late last night, we had 2 squads at the scene of a jackknife semi and on an icy patch of road on Interstate 94 outside the Twin Cities metro area. And another semi came through way too fast for the conditions, lost control and struck a Rogers Police Department squad car and a Minnesota State Patrol Troopers car. Thankfully, there were no serious injuries involved, but it speaks to the importance of anyone driving in less than ideal conditions to really slow down and pay attention, especially when they encounter emergency vehicles.
It sure does. Now, briefly, what is your best advice for those who have to be out on the roads after dark tonight?
Well, they should check. They should check road conditions on. We have an app and a website that has road conditions in Minnesota. People should check that on their routes and make sure that it's worth making that trip. And just again, be vigilant. Recognize that with this cold weather, there could be some icy patches, even though the conditions are much improved.
What is that website, please, Lieutenant?
It's 511mn.org.
511mn for Minnesota.org. That was
correct.
Thank you so much, Lieutenant. That was Lieutenant Eric Roski with the Minnesota State Patrol. Mark, back to you.
Thanks, Dave. And time now for your weather headlines. And it has been a slow-motion disaster on Hawaii's Big Island, and the lava has now claimed the first home. Lava from Mount Kilauea crawled toward the property near Pahoa. The fire there started on the porch, but then quickly engulfed the entire residence. The good news, I suppose, if you're looking for good news there, is that no people were inside. The people who lived there evacuated a while ago. Officials do say that more evacuation advisories could be issued if the lava keeps spreading. Man, that home is just gone. And on a residential street in Pasco County, Florida, a totally different problem. A very large hole, big enough to nearly swallow a car. Look at that. The ground gave way near the driveway and kept growing. 6 families have now been evacuated, and residents are saying that there is a second sinkhole forming now. What a wild scene. And we do see that in Florida. It has to do with the type of soil that's underneath that ground. And still to come on Weather Center Live, your winter weather update. Carl Parker tracking Astro, or what's left of it, plus all that polar air. So you might need to get your tires checked because of this cold air plunge. They will actually hold less pressure in these cold temperatures, and maybe even more snow later in the week. Details next.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Introducing the entirely new Hyundai Sonata. One drive, and you'll get it.
Even more impressive than the research this man has at his disposal is how he puts it to work for his clients.
Morning. Morning.
Thanks for meeting so early. Come on in.
It's how Edward Jones makes sense of investing.
Sunday nights.
When the wind blows.
The Weather Channel unravels nature's darkest secrets.
I saw something. I don't know how to explain it.
Every Sunday.
It's a story that's got a life of its own.
A new tale of weather legend.
It may have just looked like a storm, but they were dealing with something far worse.
American Supernatural. Sunday nights at 10 on the Weather Channel.
Currently in our area, 78 degrees under partly cloudy skies. Tonight, mainly clear skies. Low 62. Winds west-northwest at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Wednesday, intervals of clouds and sunshine. High 81. Winds north-northwest at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Wednesday night, partly cloudy. Low 65. Winds north at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Huh. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Everybody knows that.
Well, did you know that words really can hurt you?
What?
Jesse, don't go! Jesse, no!
I'm sorry, Daisy, but I'm a loner, and a loner's gotta be alone.
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more.
Jesse?
Meet the lumberjack whose flannel was out of whack. Freedom to move is what he lacked, even when woodland creatures attack. Until they put Duluth free swinging flannel on his back, with armpit gussets to whack and hack. Now he's known as a lumberjack. Duluth Trading free swinging flannel. Swinging made easy. Flannel made burly. Get it only at DuluthTrading.com.
For
From coast to coast, in every state, people all across the nation are learning something new. That the best way to protect their cars, trucks, and SUVs is with WeatherTech floor liners. They're laser measured to perfectly protect your specific vehicle. Front, back, even up the sides.
At Seaside Palm Beach, we recognize that you may have other obligations in your life. When you're here, you'll be able to bring your laptop. We encourage you to bring your phone. We don't want you disconnected from the rest of the world. Where other treatment centers will not allow you to have these things, we know that you have a life, but we're going to help you live that life better than when you came here. Your transition from chemically dependent to chemical-free will be as painless as possible. Seaside Palm Beach, please come see us.
Esurance was born online, which means fewer costs, which saves money. Their customer experience is virtually paperless, which saves paper, which saves money. They have smart online tools, so you only pay for what's right for you, which saves money. They settle claims quickly, which saves time, which saves money. They drive an all-hybrid claims fleet, which saves gas, which saves money. They were born online and built to save money, which means when they save, you save, because that's how it should work in the modern world. Esurance, backed by Allstate. Click or call.
All holiday cards are 50% off when you enter promo code HOLIDAY at Vistaprint.com.
I just wanted you to know.
Every Monday night this fall.
What is it that produces these things?
The Weather Channel unlocks the secrets of the Earth. The all-new season continues Monday night at 9 on the Weather Channel.
Now, before the break, we asked you if you know what to do if you lost power in a winter storm.
So hopefully you got the answer right, but here it is. Check your work.
What happens in an ice storm is it's actually warm higher up in the atmosphere. Snow falls and it melts. It turns into rain. That rain will come down, and as long as your surface temperature is above freezing, you're okay. But once it drops below freezing, that rain actually freezes on contact on branches and power lines.
There it is. The entire state, well, at least in our area, is pretty much coated in ice.
What would you do to survive this Arctic ordeal? The best thing to do in a winter power outage is B, stay in one room and ride it out.
If you've lost power and you have no heat or a limited heat source, it's so important that you immediately make the decision to zone off your house and literally live out of one room. The best way to do that is hang blankets in the doorways, close all the doors, and literally confine all of your living activity to one room.
Have some extra blankets nearby as part of your survival kit. Sleeping bags are a great insulator. During a power outage, everything for your health applies. You should have plenty of water during the day. Take care of your health, take care of yourself, and if it gets too severe or too inconvenient, then go to a shelter.
So there it is.
Good advice.
Now, courtesy of Winter Storm Astro, snow continues to swirl.
And storm specialist Carl Parker pinpointing places still seeing heavy snow and certainly following all this cold air. Carl, what are you watching?
Yeah, a tremendous amount of cold air that's going to be around for a long time and may set the stage for more wintry weather by the weekend in the early part of next week, and we'll show you what the models are saying about that in a moment. Let's first of all take a look at the visible satellite picture. And so this is from space, and we're getting a series of photographs here from the geosynchronous satellite that sits right over the U.S. And what we can see very clearly is this broad area of cloud where the front is, low pressure up there right around the lakes, and then you've got this huge plunge of cold air behind that boundary, and it's going to be around for quite some time. And look at this, as we zoom in, notice the area of white that is not moving. That is the snow that's on the ground there in eastern parts of Nebraska as well as into western Iowa. And a good bit of it still coming down in the UP of Michigan. We're going to get lake effect snow by the time that begins to wind down, and look at how much has fallen already. 15.5 Crystal Falls. Then near Marquette, this is amazing, between 23 and 26 inches in Ishpeming, and then just to the west of Marquette in Negaunee, 21.5 inches, and more on the way. There could be an additional 5 to 8 in these areas by the time it's all said and done. A pretty broad area of 5 to 8, and again, lake effect is going to be part of that. So here's the broader pattern, and there's this big area of upper level low pressure across North America, very cold air. Then you've got this upper level high that is sitting up there in parts of Western Canada and also in Alaska. Part of that is related to that big storm that we talked about around the Aleutian Islands, but this is also something that we've seen a lot of in recent years, these big anomalously warm highs very high up in latitude and big swings in the jet stream that are related to that. And if you'd like to read more about that, you can Google Jennifer Francis Arctic, and you'll find a lot of the scientific work on that particular topic. So here's a look at the polar invasion tomorrow. 45 degrees below average in Denver, 8 degrees for the high there. Cold air continues to spread into the Mississippi Valley. 54 in New Orleans, off by about 18 degrees. 42 in Nashville. We find a little more of that cold seeping into the Carolinas on Friday. 47 Charlotte, 37 in St. Louis. Generally about 15 to 20 degrees below average, and that continues right in the weekend, into the weekend. And with that cold air in place, that sets the stage for possible wintry weather. So here's the GFS model. Big sprawling area of high pressure in place here in the east. Then we'll watch a low get going out of the Gulf of Mexico and then move up and along the coast. There is the freezing line right there. And so what that low is going to do is pull some moisture from the Atlantic, throw it back into that cold air, and the result may be an area of snow starting late Sunday and going into Monday, especially in interior parts of the Northeast. And we'll continue to watch that forecast. Mark, Dave, back to you.
Thanks, Carl. And of course, we're just getting started here on Weather Center Live, still following Astro, which is on the move.
And so is the polar air invasion. And it's making a day of drama on the roads here. If you love weather, stick around. You're going to love this.
Currently in our area, 78 degrees under partly cloudy skies. Tonight, mainly clear skies. Low 62. Winds west-northwest at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Wednesday, intervals of clouds and sunshine. High 81. Winds north-northwest at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Wednesday night, partly cloudy. Low 65. Winds north at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Putting millions of drivers to the test. Now, the snow more than a foot deep in some places, and it's still falling, Mark.
I can't believe you just told that car horn to shut up. I mean, they were going down a hill into an intersection. You got to use the horn there.
I'm not taking it back.
The Arctic invasion was a shock to the system. People in Denver experienced just a dramatic drop in temperatures yesterday, and that cold air still spreading. From the Weather Channel headquarters in Atlanta, you are watching Weather Center Live. And hello, and thanks for watching. I'm Mark Elliott.
And I'm Dave Schwartz. I guess that was a little road rage on my part. So I apologize.
The horn does it each time, you know. Ugh.
Now, forecasters here at the Weather Channel, such as Mark and me, are calling this latest outbreak relentless because while the core of the cold air has already settled into the western plains, it's moved across the Mississippi River, heading up the Ohio Valley, headed toward the Tallahatchie Bridge in Mississippi. But there's another core out there in western Canada, and it's coming this way too. So relentless. This is going to be weeks long.
Yeah, and you know what? Astro still on the maps as well. Take a look at Cheyenne, Wyoming. The snow started there yesterday. No chance it's going to melt anytime soon because of all the cold air that Dave was just talking about. In fact, here, the overnight lows could dip below zero.
Ugh. And take a look at the snow this morning in Albany, not New York, Albany, Minnesota. The roads, well, imagine driving on that. Now, plow drivers were out early, but they had their work cut out for them, that's for sure.
That snow slowing down in Minnesota today, but the cold is still settling on in.
Meteorologist Mike Seidel is in Forest Lake, Minnesota. That's just north of the Twin Cities. Mike?
This was a big storm, especially north of Minneapolis-St. Paul. North and west up Interstate 94, St. Cloud had 13.2 inches. That is the snowiest day on record, calendar day, in November, and their 5th snowiest across any day in the year. You get over here to Forest Lake, we've had 10 inches. North of here as much as 16 inches. Again, re-emphasizing the fact that we had a really tight gradient of snow across the Twin Cities metro. North side, 6, 8, 10 inches. South side, from Eden Prairie to Bloomington, Chanhassen, where the National Weather Service is, they had around 3 inches of snow. And as you can imagine, all the snowplow operators had to react.
Well, it certainly woke all of us up in the snow removal industry, and we were nervous. You know, a smaller snow event, 2 to 3 inches, is certainly different than 9 or 10 or 12. So we were pretty nervous and certainly scrambling to get our equipment and people ready.
As you can imagine, the plow operators love this kind of weather. It's money in the bank. Roads are in pretty good shape right now. We've had a lot of salt, we've had some sun, and the snow has basically wrapped up for this event. Airport looking much better today. Yesterday we had about 150 cancellations. Today running at about 20. Much better trying to get in and out and through MSP International. Forecast, the cold weather is here to stay. It's going to get even colder into the weekend and next week. Highs may not get to 20 some afternoons. Morning lows well down into the single numbers. We'll probably have some sub-zero cold with clear nights, light winds, and all the snowpack. We'll keep you updated as the cold air heads south this afternoon and tonight.
Thank you, Mike. Now, for you folks watching on the East Coast where it's so mild today, just know that the cold air is coming. Believe me, but enjoy it today. Now, our coverage of Winter Storm Astro continues with expert analysis. Storm specialist Carl Parker is in the lab. Carl.
Dave, what we have right now is another way of looking at this cold, and we rely on infrared imagery to tell us where the clouds are, where the storms are, but it also shows us where the cold is. And so what infrared satellite imagery is doing is it's picking up on the very cold cloud tops and colorizing those cold cloud tops. So here's a look at northern parts of the U.S. and also Canada. You notice here that where you see that tannish color, that's where there is no cloud, and then very clearly you can see where the cloud is moving along, and notice that it's depicted in white and blue and in grayish colors as well, and there's a general circulation around an upper level low which is sitting right in here. But also notice way up here in northern and western parts of Canada, there are a lot of elements in the picture that are not moving, and yet they do have that color, that whitish and grayish color. That's because the ground is so cold it is comparable in temperature to the very tops of the clouds. And we're talking about the minus 20s and the minus 30s in some cases. Exceptionally cold air sitting up there, and we can see how cold it is and how it's come down and really overtaken North America. There's the last of Astro, still getting some snow. Now in northern parts of the UP, we've had as much as a couple of feet of snow around Marquette. Could be several more inches before it's all said and done. Lake effect's going to kick in as well. And here's the model forecast. There's the low. It's going to be lifting up into southern parts of Ontario. On the back side of that low, we'll see a very strong north and northwest wind. So the lake effect streamers start coming off Lake Superior, but that's just the beginning of this lake effect event. So you're going to have cold air coming down behind this low, temperatures in the 30s and then falling through the 20s over the next couple of days. Now compare that to the temperatures that are in place in the lakes. The lake water temperatures are now in the 40s and the 50s, so there's a really big differential between the lake water temperatures and the air temperatures, and when you've got that kind of a differential, that increases the instability or the propensity, the likelihood that air is going to rise. So it starts to rise, develops into clouds, picks up moisture from the lakes, and the result is that we get lake effect snow. And this is how the model sees that over the next couple of days. We're going to have a northwest wind coming off of Lake Superior, a west wind coming off of Lakes Michigan and Erie, and also Ontario. And we'll probably see a pretty good band getting going here right off of Lake Erie into the south towns as well as into Chautauqua, Cattaraugus counties. Erie, certainly another area of snow coming into Grand Rapids, Benton Harbor, northern parts of Indiana. And that's going to go for a while. That's going to go right through the day on Thursday, even into late Thursday, still seeing those bands moving into western Michigan in particular, northwestern Pennsylvania, and also there into the Cleveland Metro, Ashtabula and Geauga counties, certainly in for several inches of lake effect snow as this cold blast continues. Dave, Mark, back to you.
Thanks for another wonderful insight, Carl Parker. Well, coming up on Weather Center Live, an in-depth look at snowflakes.
Yeah, is it really true that no two are the same? Well, that answer comes down to science.
Science.
Up next, a brainstorm you will only see on the Weather Channel.
And how about this shot of New York City?
Not yet.
No, not yet.
No, now we're talking cold.
Okay, well, you talk cold. I'll
talk cold.
Okay.
Look how cold it's going to be across the eastern two-thirds of the country through the weekend, below average temperatures. Now New York City.
And then it will make it into New York, but we have a beautiful late afternoon shot. 62 degrees in New York. A beautiful evening coming up.
Sun setting on the warm.
For a crowd this big, your everyday dishes will only go so far. Literally. You had to go deep into the cupboard, embarrassingly deep. Can this mismatch mess be conquered by a little bit of dish liquid? It can if it's Dawn Ultra. It's more concentrated. Just one bottle has the grease cleaning power of 2 bottles of this bargain brand. Here's to the overextended family gathering. Dawn, it's amazing what a drop can do.
Here it is. This is where I met your grandpa. Right under this tree.
Some things are worth holding on to.
They're hugging the tree.
That's why we got a Subaru.
Was it that tree?
Introducing the all-new Subaru Outback. Love, it's what makes a Subaru a Subaru.
The wildest weather ever caught on camera. Oh my God! Tonight, tomorrow night, every weeknight, wild weather at 8 on the Weather Channel. See the weather like never before.
Look at this! Listen to that!
Amazing starts here. The Weather Channel mornings.
Currently in our area, 78 degrees under partly cloudy skies. Tonight, mainly clear skies. Low 62. Winds west-northwest at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Wednesday, intervals of clouds and sunshine. High 81. Winds north-northwest at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Wednesday night, partly cloudy. Low 65. Winds north at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
If you missed this Sunday night on the Weather Channel, you'll never know how twisted weather can be. Wicked Weather Sundays, every Sunday night at 9 on the Weather Channel.
Come to Boston Market for a full menu of meals featuring our signature rotisserie chicken, starting at just $6.99. And this holiday season, spend more time with family and friends. Let the holiday experts do the cooking. Only at Boston Market.
This is Veronica. Rhonda.
Robert.
She takes care of me. She takes care of me, the kids, the calendar, the dog, the house.
Actually, he takes care of the house.
You could say everything good in my life is possible because of Veronica.
Because of Robert.
She's irreplaceable. She's irreplaceable.
No one like him.
Life insurance? Do we need that?
There are over 32 million irreplaceable wives and husbands in this country without life insurance. Loved ones who could have coverage for less than $1 a day.
We'll make it easy. Call me at United of Omaha and I'll give you a quote in about a minute. A $100,000 policy is as little as $23.20 a month. No medical exam is needed. And you could have coverage in 3 days.
That's it? 3 days? 3 days.
And he's covered?
She's covered? And she's covered.
We pay 87% of life insurance claims within a week.
I'm calling now.
Mutual of Omaha. Ensure your possibilities. Call today.
Welcome back to Weather Center Live. You know, we've been talking about this polar air invasion, and it's not just about the northern tier and the high plains. No, this cold air is going south, it's going east, it's going all the way to the east coast. So say goodbye to temps like this. Philly near 70 right now, New York City 62, Boston near 60. The cold air is going to be pushing on through. It's all because of this potent cold front working its way towards the east coast. Big dip in the jet stream allowing for the northwest wind and that plunge of Arctic air to come and really dominate the weather pattern over the next 10 to even 14 days. So within the eastern two-thirds of the country, we're looking at high temperatures that will drop to about 10 to 20 degrees below your averages. And in this area, along the Appalachian spine, we could even see some 30-degree departures from average. So tomorrow, you'll have morning high temperatures in New York City in the mid-60s. By Thursday, say goodbye to that, a high near 50. So already switching that pattern up. Look at interior New England, right? Pittsburgh, Buffalo, Burlington in the 30s, a good 10 degrees below the averages. Plus, New York City, once this cold air arrives, it stays around low to mid 40s, even some upper 30s, not out of the question as we go through the next couple of days. Plus, this cold air goes into the south, too. Dallas, 48 tomorrow. Memphis, 49. 49 in Memphis, that's 15 degrees below your average. How about 42 in Memphis Thursday? And even Atlanta and Charlotte and Savannah, you get into the mix of this cold air by the end of the week. Dave, over to you.
Now, along with the cold air, Mark, Winter Storm Astro has